Hello friends and viewers, and welcome to my Nydia character guide. If you are just here for a quick reference, I've created a pocket guide for the beginning of the video. Nydia's trait is Seal of Dark Feather. With this trait, her physical damage is considered magical damage. She gains Armor of Ice for 3 turns at the start of battle. During Nydia's turn, when her basic attack hits targets with Black Feather, she will trigger 1000 Black Feathers and consume Black Feather. Black Feather is a mark Nydia passively applies to enemy targets. 1000 Black Feathers is a trigger effect, dealing 80% AoE damage to all enemies within 2 tiles of the target. A single target can receive up to 4000 Black Feathers attacks with the skill multiplier of the last 3 hits reduced to 15%. Active basic attacks inflict 1 Frostbite on the target for 1 turn, and Frostbite is a life loss debuff, dealing damage equal to 50% of Nydia's physical attack and magical attack after 1 turn. Nydia also adds a percentage of her magical attack to her physical attack. At higher star level, her 1000 Black Feathers damage increases and she has increased basic attack range. At the start of her turn, she inflicts Black Feather on enemies without Black Feather within 4 to 6 tiles of her, depending on star level. And finally, when actively using basic attack, Nydia will recover 1 energy and reduce all class skill cooldowns by 1 turn. This can be triggered up to 1 time per round. Here's a quick table detailing Nydia's growth at each star level. Notably, she sees impressive damage gains at star level 3 and star level 5. Her initial skill is Cloud of Black Feathers. This skill costs 1 energy, and Nydia will consume 1 energy each turn while channeling. With Cloud of Black Feathers, 1000 Black Feathers effect range is increased by 1 tile, and basic attacks will forcibly trigger 1000 Black Feathers an additional time. Expect to use this as Nydia's primary channeling skill at lower star levels, or if you have a weak character roster. At rank 1, your options are Knight's Glory Ice or Insight. Knight's Glory Ice is a modified version of Knight's Glory that we've seen from most Union allies. Unlike the ordinary Knight's Glory, Nydia's version grants the target an attack 2 buff for 3 turns instead of 2, and grants Armor of Ice instead of a flat physical shield. Insight offers a passive 8% physical attack increase and enables Nydia to dispel 1 defense attribute buff from her target before attacking. Long term, neither skill will be part of Nydia's regular skill loadout, so make your selection based on the passive HP or defense stat increase. My pick here is Knight's Glory Ice. At rank 3, I recommend All Preparations Complete. All Preparations Complete increases Nydia's crit by 20% and crit damage by 10% when she is unharmed at 100% HP. This increases her active damage output and incentivizes avoiding damage taken. Frosty Trap is a crowd control ability, interrupting the target's current turn and freezes them for 1 turn. While interrupts and crowd control effects are influential abilities, this is not Nydia's core function, making Frosty Trap a niche ability. At rank 5, your options are Winter Protection or Deathbird's Wings. Winter Protection refreshes Nydia's Armor of Ice whenever she attacks enemies with move or speed debuffs. This would serve as Nydia's primary method of maintaining Armor of Ice beyond her trait and death sentence. Additionally, when attacked by enemies with move or speed debuffs, Nydia reduces damage taken by 30%. Deathbird's Wings reduces AoE damage taken by 40% and also increases her movement by 1 tile when she is under any channeling effect, which should be all the time. Increased movement always supports both aggressive and defensive gameplay. Which reaction skill you select both depends on your risk tolerance and if you intend to build Nydia for frostbite damage or active damage. Nydia's Breath of Winter at rank 11 is dependent on her maintaining a physical shield, so you might consider leaning more towards Winter Protection. It is also reasonable to invest a Castalia for the attack gains. My first pick here is Winter Protection. At rank 7, I recommend Death Sentence with a Castalia for Deathbird's Eye. Death Sentence is Nydia's signature ability, inflicting Black Feather on all enemies within 3 tiles of her selected target, and steals 1 energy and 2 buffs from the same selected target. Nydia will also gain Damage 2, Armor of Ice, and Death Sentence buffs. Under the Death Sentence buff, Nydia doubles the number of enemies that can be inflicted with Black Feather in her trait. After an active attack, Nydia performs an additional basic attack on the 2 farthest targets with Black Feather within the basic attack range, with its skill multiplier reduced by 10%. When using Deathbird's Eye, Nydia additionally inflicts Frostbite and Move 1 debuff when 1000 Black Feather triggers. This can be activated up to 1 time per target per round. Deathbird's Eye increases Nydia's Frostbite applications. At rank 9, your options are Ice Arrow or Trill. Ice Arrow adds move and speed debuffs to Nydia's basic attack. This is ideal if you are playing with Winter of Protection and Breath of Winter. Trill includes a knockback effect to Nydia's basic attack. After an active basic attack, Nydia knocks back the first other enemy in a cross-shaped range of 3 tiles around the target by 1 tile away from the target. Manipulating enemy movement this way helps trigger 1000 Black Feathers. My first pick here at rank 9 is Ice Arrow. At rank 11, I recommend Breath of Winter with a Castalia for Rain of Arrows. These cost 2 energy, so Nydia will either need to be star level 5 or have external energy support to maintain 100% uptime on either ability. Breath of Winter inflicts Frostbite on her target and will inflict another stack of Frostbite if Nydia has a physical shield and if the enemy has a movement debuff. With Deathbird's Eye and her trait, a single target could have up to 4 stacks of Frostbite. Rain of Arrows increases Nydia's magical attack to physical attack contribution ratio by half, and after a basic attack, she will perform another basic attack on the closest target within range. This allows greater active damage. This build focuses on inflicting Frostbite, channeling Breath of Winter and selecting Ice Arrow and Winter Protection to optimize Breath of Winter to full effect. This build focuses on active damage, channeling both Rain of Arrows and Cloud of Black Feathers. Channeling both Rain of Arrows and Cloud of Black Feathers spends 3 energy per turn, which is not feasible until Nydia is star level 5 and has external energy regen support. Consider all preparations complete if you find discomfort playing both skills. For weapons, Nydia's options depend on your skill loadout. Longbow of Martyrs offers the highest physical attack increase among all bows, so it is the best weapon to increase her frostbite damage while also inflicting the Longbow of Martyrs debuff on a single target. Until you have a well-built Longbow of Martyrs, Meteor Line or Irian Combat Bow are serviceable for a frostbite playstyle. For an active damage build, consider leaning more into crit with Star Raid Crossbow. Otherwise, Melee Mega Crossbow is competitive for an active damage playstyle as well. For trinket recommendations, Breath Concealing Ring is Nydia's Astral Imprint, offering a passive physical attack increase and additional physical attack prior to an active basic attack. As all of Nydia's active damage comes from her basic attack, this suits her well. With Nydia's trait and the Winter Protection skill, she should have no problems having high physical shield uptime to maintain Shield of Justice's attack and defense increases. Origin Hourglass is always a fine option. Nydia can utilize both attack types from this trinket. If playing an active damage build with all preparations complete, Spring Pill helps Nydia with unharmed uptime. For Terra recommendations, on any maps with high target count, it is always reasonable to consider Temptation of the Devil. Nydia deals strong AoE damage, and recall that she benefits from both physical attack and magical attack. For active damage options, consider Verdict of Justice for the crit gains or Dream of the Magician for raw damage gains. For a general option, Course of Fortune is a versatile and hybrid choice for damage, healing, mitigation, and energy recovery. The energy recovery can help maintain her channeling. For engravings, Sword and Wand remains a fine and comfortable option for the attack and defense increases following movement, increasing both active and frostbite damage. If you struggle with Nydia's movement and/or you're also playing with all preparations complete, consider Sword and Pentacle for the attack and defense increases when unharmed. To provide some composition and usage tips, unlike most Seekers, Nydia has the standard base movement of 3 tiles, but she somewhat makes up for this with increased basic attack range at higher star level and the Deathbird's Wings reaction skill. Additionally, compared to the legendary Seeker roster, Nydia has very high base stats. For example, the highest base physical attack and physical defense, and the second highest base magical defense behind Hasna. She has several ability sources that benefit from magical attack, such as her trait, Rain of Arrows, and Frostbite damage. However, remember to continually prioritize physical attack first, then magical attack second. Magical attack does not overtake physical attack. Nydia is part of the Union and Alacrity categories. Consider teaming her with Gloria and her Cole for their leaders' auras. For a quick overview of external category buffs, Gloria's Vow of Justice is a good aura to increase Nydia's active damage, but has less contributions to her frostbite damage. Cole's Perfect Assassin increases crit and crit damage by 15%, which is also good for Nydia's active damage. That concludes this character guide. If you have any feedback to share with me, please leave a comment below. I'm open to listening and being wrong. I'm another player improving and learning more about Sword of Convallaria just like you are. Remember, if you find conflicting information to other guides or content creators, then that means there are multiple ways to build a character and still achieve success. Finally, my social media contacts are displayed here to connect with me as well. Last but not least, I want to credit and shout out these resources for helping me put together this character guide. Voyage Memento for character build samples and reference links, the No Potion fan site for skill images and skill descriptions, and the Billy Games site for character art assets. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.